What is up, everybody? We are back again with another episode today. Hope you guys enjoyed the Paris Olympics as we are closing into the knockout round. We just witnessed Team USA winning 3 in a row. We're going to be getting to that in a minute. But first, I got some stuff that I want to address and I want to bring up during the show. But with all being said, this is the Basketball Truth for Knowledge. I am your co-host, Aramis.
I'm Ray Daniels.
And let's get right into it.
Let's go.
All right. So, how do you feel? You want to get into the to the 3-game Olympics, or you want to talk about stuff that we've heard so far?
Man, whatever you want to start with, let's go. We got a lot of knowledge today.
So, I've been so you've heard of TikTok, right?
Yep.
All right, so I was on TikTok and this guy that I follow, he was posting some good debates, like who is the better player. So he brought up something interesting, like who is the better player, Ja Morant or Anthony Edwards, like just big debates. So I want to bring up Ja Morant versus Edwards. Who do you think is the better player? So, but what I said was, are we talking about career-wise or just off one season? Because if we're talking about just by one season, then yeah, Edwards. But if we're talking about career-wise, then that's just Ja Morant himself, because Ja has a better career, but just
he has a longer career. He has a longer. His career is longer than Ant's.
Right.
So you can't compare it by that.
Exactly. So that's why I said if you're going by career wise, then it's definitely Ja. But if you're going just up that one season, then it's definitely going to be Ant. Now, here's my other question too. So, how would you settle this GOAT debate between LeBron and MJ, knowing that he is 20 years old? He is up there by accolades with MJ, but on top of that, he was named the first NBA player to be a USA barrier to hold the flag of representing the United States of America. Does that fit in his resume to be the GOAT over MJ? How would you like do you agree with that or no?
So it's if you want to go by points and stats, then LeBron is the GOAT because he's still going to surpass everything. The only one stat that Jordan is always going to be the GOAT over LeBron is rings.
Okay, yeah, that's valid. That's valid.
So if you want to talk about rings, killer instinct, then no, he's not the GOAT over MJ. No way, shape, form, or fashion, period. But if you want to talk about career stats, what he's done for the game, flag barrier for the U.S. Olympics, absolutely, and he's still going. So I take my hat off to LeBron because he been in there since he been in there since high school. As soon as he graduated high school, he went straight to the league. So
right at the age of 19,
he's been in there over 20 years. So you can't take those accolades away from him and the longevity, and he's still at 40. The best player on the court today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now you can pat up a debate, Joker this or that one, that and all that, but their numbers do not compare as far as number wise. There's no one that's going to be able to compare to LeBron James ever, at least for the next probably 10 years, 10, 15 more years. Now, eventually maybe somebody come along, but at the end of the day, statistics wise, LeBron is the GOAT. MJ, as far as killer instincts and rings over him, he would be the GOAT. But then even you want to count all rings, we can still go back to if it's all about rings, then Bill Russell has more rings than anybody.
Right. So, despite LeBron being the representative of the Team USA, United States of America flag barrier, and we did get a a confirmation that this will be his last Team USA joining, so he won't be a part of the USA no more. So this will be his last, and we know that his contract for Lakers is guaranteed to be his last 2 years to play with his son. We do know that for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but I I wonder if they're gonna bring up this debate again, like we're bringing it up now. I hope that they're gonna bring it up as he retires.
So let me ask you this: what is your take on? You asked me my take. What's your take? Because you're a generation younger than me. So what is your take from your generation?
On like just based off the debate between MJ and LeBron, or just
Same question. Same question, LeBron and MJ. What's your take on it? Because you're in a different era than me. So I'm in the MJ era. Like I saw all those games, and that was when I was your age. So he was
well,
the most prolific player, and it took him time. He couldn't do it by himself. MJ was in the league, I think, 5 years before he even won a chip, and he had to learn to use his team and all that kind of stuff. So I was in that era. But what I will tell you is that once he got to the to the point where he got the help and he went on his run, undefeated in the playoffs. And then they made him retire. Like they made MJ retire. Like that wasn't some shit that MJ just was like, oh, yeah, I'm done with basketball. They made the man retire because at the time it was bigger than it was. He was bigger. He was so big that they just had to allow somebody else to make some money. And then that's when
yeah,
a lot of them came to Houston and won them 2 years that he took off. And then he came right back and won 3 years again. He could have won seven. He was so good he could have won 7 to 8 8 rings possibly straight. The teams that he had, and they were winning because. And here's the difference with LeBron. LeBron is a great player, but he never was in a system. The system that MJ, and not only is he a great player, he played in the right system, which is the best system ever. Is a triangle offense.
okay, okay. Well, let me ask you this: Do you think MJ? So let's take a switch between MJ and LeBron. So let's put MJ in this era. Do you think uh, do you think MJ can lead the Cavs and take them to the finals and win consistent rings as LeBron did? Do you think MJ could easily single handedly beat every single team with the bum Cavs like LeBron did? Do you
Mm-hmm.
think MJ would have the same amount of stats as he did in his old era?
MJ did the same thing LeBron did with Cleveland. With Chicago. Chicago was a bum team with nobody Hall of Famers. Scottie Pippen and all of those players that was just on the team. They was the same trash team as Cleveland. Go look at
Mm-hmm.
this. But once they start winning, just like Cleveland, Kyrie became a star. Scottie Pippen became a star. Then they drafted. If you go look at, they had Bill Paxton. They had Cartwright. Go look at the roster that Chicago had with Jordan. Same shit. So that's not a comparison. People want to say that LeBron took Cleveland, a team from nowhere. Jordan did the same thing, and he built those players around him. They became Hall of Famers, similar to what LeBron did. But LeBron only got maybe one or two players out of there. That was when he had Kyrie and all that stuff. But the same thing Jordan
Mm-hmm.
did, same exact thing. You have to go do your research on that one because that conversation that say that LeBron took the Cavs with a garbage team, Jordan did the exact same thing.
Right.
Nobody knew who Scottie Pippen was back then.
Okay. So back to your question on when you asked me what is my thought process on LeBron in my era of basketball. I think I'm gonna say it as this. So we do know that he was drafted in '03, at the age of 19. Him and Melo, same age, drafted in the same year. And when he came into this league, we do know that he was the most dominant small forward. He wasn't that big. He was small, so he couldn't really compete with other big other big men at all. But then when he put on some pounds and he was able to, you
I
know,
think LeBron did win Rookie of the Year though. He was very impressive as a rookie,
right,
and
he was, but
he didn't
like
have no college experience, so
he
you already
didn't.
was special. No college, straight off the gate. So he basically went into the league as a freshman, identical to somebody who was going to freshman in college and making an
Right,
impact. So I
right.
that's
So
his kudos because Jordan didn't even do that.
mm,
Jordan went to college, North Carolina, I think 1 or 2 years, and then
yeah,
that's when he
he did his two
exploded.
years and then and then got drafted by the Chicago Bulls, and then and it took him years to like develop that team, and then he actually,
Yep,
you know,
yep, yep. But the
but
same LeBron didn't win right away at Cleveland.
right.
So
But
same. I
I
don't know
think what it is,
I don't know how many years it took LeBron to win finally in Cleveland, but I know it was very similar to Jordan. It had to be at least, and I'm just guessing,
what took him,
fact check, but he took about 4 or 5 years to win a chip in Cleveland, same like it did LeBron Jordan in Chicago, same exact
it
time.
did. I can say this too because like for as far as LeBron, like it took him a while for him to reach the playoffs, and then when he finally did, he had to face uh the Mavs, he had to face Boston, he had to face some of these tougher teams like Gilbert Arenas. He had to face some of these talented players who
Yeah,
played in the O era. Like he had to face some of these players, and he recognized. Oh, what just happened? My
I'm
bad.
sure
Somebody had caught. Who is caught, bro?
Shorty.
Somebody is caught. Hold on. Let me put my thing on do not disturb because this is outrageous right now.
Right. Shorty said, "What you doing?"
Yo. All right. So back to what I was saying. So yeah. So like LeBron, when I look at LeBron, it kind of reminds me how when I was watching Kobe play. So like that Kobe came into the league from high school. So like when the league recognized how LeBron is, him averaging 20 points a game, like each season, and then when he took that, when he took that the understanding of that he's going to be coming facing against tougher opponents, he knew that he had to develop his game much better, find more ways to make your game a lot more better, and that's what he did. So
Right.
yes, it took him years to get a ring for Cleveland, but when he knew he couldn't get one in Cleveland, he thought that maybe, and then like he needed to be on a team where like he can have help, and that's when he went to Miami Beach to go play with D Wade, Bush,
Right.
and
So
then you got and then
let me show you a difference in era. So
okay,
that's your era. And in your era, which is the new era,
mm,
that's the modern, the European National Basketball League. That's what it really is right now. I mean, they got away from the hardcore NBA where nobody hardly got 100 points. Back then it was all about defense. You could play physical, and we already
yeah,
had before about the physicalness of the game, which different. Now, if you ask me a question, could LeBron have made it back in the Jordan era with the physicality of the game? Yeah, because he's a big dude. But that would have changed his game different, and it would have made him a little more grittier person, like that. But the difference is he couldn't do it because he only could play with what was on the table, and that's the style of play that was he adapted at that. The other thing is that I take away from LeBron on one hand, yes, he did it as a business move to say, hey, I can't win in Cleveland or I haven't won in Cleveland, so I'm going to go and team up with this
Miami, right? To go
Miami.
play with those boys.
When you look at the old era, nobody did that. If you got traded back then, it's because you were a different level type of player. If you were the dominant player like LeBron was in this era, he would have never left his team. Case in point, you can go back into let's go back and start with, and I can go in the 70s too, but let's just stay in the 80s when Magic Johnson and Larry Bird got drafted, stayed with the team their entire career. You understand what I'm saying? Then Jordan stayed with the team his entire career. Isaiah Thomas stayed with his team the entire career. Elijah Wan. So when you had the marquee players back then, they built the teams around them, and then it was up to the organizations to go bring in the talent and make it work. So I don't give LeBron credit in that regard because he left and was like, you know what, I'm going to team up with somebody instead of him saying, you know what, I'm gonna stay here in Cleveland. This is my foundation and go out his career. That's the old guard way they did it. So, then that's how you have people retire numbers from, Larry Birds, the Magics, the Elgin Baylors, old school players like that. They were dominant, stayed with one organization. So I don't give LeBron a lot of props in that regard because he just kind of moved around at more like a Hollywood basketball player. I'm gonna go where it's live over here. Okay, it's dead. I'm gonna move and go over here. You understand what I'm saying? And then so that's the difference in the era. So if as an old school era guy, I would talk down LeBron because you just went to team up with people versus people come to play with you. Now let me say that again. You left to go team up with other people because you were great and you felt you needed extra to go play with them instead of allowing them to say, no, this is my house, my domain. Y'all come play with me.
Right.
Big
But
difference. So
right.
I take away from LeBron in that regard because at the end of the day, LeBron is probably one of the best players, currently the best player on the planet. So anybody, just like LeBron politicking to bring people to come play with him, he could have did that same shit in Cleveland
He could have.
and stayed there.
But
Who
but
wanted him? But at the end of the day, that's what he chose to do, which to me is that new modern era. And so when you talk to an old school guy, he lose points in that regard because we was always learning to stay with your team and you build your franchise ground up starting with you, not with the better players.
okay, so I want to I want to say this because I like back when LeBron went to free agency and signed with the Miami Heat,
Mm-hmm.
all of the fans kind of discredit LeBron and kind of felt in distress because they feel like LeBron just abandoned it because he couldn't win in Cleveland. No, it's not the reason why it's not the reason why he couldn't win in Cleveland because he knew that he spent so many years, he spent a few years in Cleveland that he brought y'all boys to the championship, almost got close to the final and almost won a ring, but he knew that if he had to do that so many times and still couldn't get one, he thought of brilliant mind to hit up D Wade and be like, "Yo, let's try to get one in Miami." So he went to Miami. You got Bosh, D Wade,
Let me
and
ask
then
let me ask you this, Aramis. So I'm not cutting you off, but
mhm,
listen to what you're saying from a historical point. You have a kid who was born in Cleveland
mhm.
area. He goes through all of the accolades in Cleveland, best college, best high schools, best trainers, whatever the case may be, and then get drafted by the same team in the same city that you from. Right? Now, hear me out. Then you figure, oh, okay, I can't win. And instead of you grinding it out and still being the best person you can be, you left and said, I'm going to go team up with Wade. So now, here's my question to you. Who does that marketing thing looks better for, LeBron or Wade? Because Wade was all about Miami. He won his chips. He did this and that. He won a chip before LeBron came. So it looks
Yeah,
like
but he
he
yeah,
was.
but he had to help with Shaq though.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because listen to what it is. He stayed in Miami the whole time, just like
Right.
LeBron stayed in Cleveland the whole time. And
But
now,
the,
came the point LeBron left, and it looks like D Wade was recruiting so that I can continue my legacy in my city. That's where LeBron fell short because he could have did the same shit, but because he chose. Now when they won those titles, who got the most credit? Did LeBron get the most credit or did D Wade get the most credit?
I'll have to say LeBron because at the end of the day, like okay, look, for you
Hmm?
you're gonna say it's D Wade, but I
But
think for me
why?
is
Why would I say D Wade? The only reason why I say D Wade is because he already had won a chip in there.
right.
Before he got Shaq to come from LA in my city. And I won. Then I lost. Then here's the mastermind. Then I was losing. I said, okay, I need to get some more help. I'm gonna call LeBron to come play with me and Bosh. So,
Because he didn't have
so,
anybody else except for him
yeah,
and
but
Bosh.
my whole case in point to you is that he did all the engineering and maneuvering around, and he was the catapult. He was the person that catapulted all these moves so that he can win in his city. LeBron didn't do that. Yes, LeBron
Well,
helped get a ring. Yes, Shaq got him a ring. But the whole point is he stayed home and he brought in these top players, and that's the only where that why LeBron gets so much shade because he
well, I
go
think
with
it's because that
somebody
they're both two different
understand
players. Though.
play with me. I'm gonna go play with you versus you go play. Come here and play with me. That's the difference.
Okay, but
Like,
I mean, but
like you're following and you jumping on bandwagons, even though you're the biggest player. You follow what I'm saying? Versus you say, no, I'm LeBron motherfucking James. Let's go. I'm that dude. Come on, play with me. And that's why the older people give LeBron the shade just because of that. And then now we can have the conversation so you understand the root of why the old guard versus the new guard feel away a little bit. His accolades is still his accolades. It doesn't take from that because he is superior and he's going to surpass pretty much everybody because of the longevity of his career. But from the principal point, that's where he get the shade at. And I don't know if you really understood that, but that's the really real breakdown because you're leaving to go be with other people where they're at, jumping on their bandwagons and using their talent instead of saying, "Hey, y'all come here with me in Cleveland, where I'm from." So that's why the Cleveland fans got so pissed at LeBron. And then the only thing LeBron did to save his ass, he went back to Cleveland and won one. So that's
yeah,
like marriage. That's like you in a marriage, and we love you. You was born here, raised here. We love you. We break up, and then you get back together, and you won one. That's the relationship it looks like for LeBron versus him saying, "No, fuck that. I'm from here. I love it here. I'm gonna make sure I shine here, ride or die to the end of my career." And that's the difference. What he didn't do, other greats did.
yeah, but like like despite him going to Miami and winning 3 rings with Miami and then went to the Cavs, won 1 ring with Kyrie and the Cavaliers, and then him leaving in 2018 to join the LA Lakers in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
They won 1 ring the following next year. I feel like LeBron is like no matter how many times he has to go to another team, he is still that number one option when it comes to him being on the team. Now I'm not saying like no other players.
I have no fight on your argument right there. I agree with you 100%. It's never been done, and the only reason why it's never been done by a top tier athlete, it's been done before. Have you
Right.
ever heard a guy named Horse Robert Ory?
Hmm.
Have you heard of a guy named Robert Ory? Horry.
Hmm.
Robert Ory played for 6 teams that won. Robert Ory has 7 rings. 7. He won 2. I think it's 6 or 7. He won 2 with Houston. He won 3 with Shaq in them, with Kobe and them in LA, and I think he won. Oh, and he won 2 with the Spurs. He's won 7 rings, bro. So if you want to say that where a person bounced around and he was a good player, the difference between him and LeBron is LeBron was a tier 1 player, and Ori was probably, they call him Big Shot Rob, but he did that same thing, bounced around teams, and he has 7 rings. Doing the same thing that LeBron did.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking from LeBron. I'm not trying to take from him, but I'm just trying to show you that move where you say, hey, look, let's take Robert Horry. He played 2 years with Olajuwon and Kenny Smith and all, and when they won the 2 years in a row, that Jordan was gone. Then he got traded to the Lakers and he played with Kobe and Shaq and won 3 there. Go look him up. And he was pivotal in those wins. That's why they call him Big Shot Rob. He wouldn't do shit all season. Well, he still would play, but his numbers wasn't out the roof. But in the playoffs, when they needed a bucket, it wasn't Jordan. It wasn't Shaq. It wasn't Kobe. It wasn't Olajuwon. It wasn't Tim Duncan and David Robinson. All of those 3 teams, he was a major role in the playoffs, and he bounced around and still won 7. So now you take LeBron, who was a better player than Horace, but at the same time, he did the exact same thing. And he was a number 1 tier player. Go look him up. His name is Robert Horry. They call him Big Shot Rob. He played, the first team he played was the Spurs when they had Tim Duncan and David Robinson. He won 2 chips there, got traded, went down the road, played with Olajuwon and Kenny Smith. They won 2 more chips there. Then he left there and was like, oh, okay, I'm a free agent. Now I'm gonna go play with Shaq and them. And he was had a pivotal role in all those playoff runs.
Right. But
business at that point. So I'm not mad at LeBron for being in business. I just wish LeBron's legacy would be different if he would have just stayed in Cleveland, because I believe that in Cleveland he could have got the same thing, but his marketing team and whatever it was, they just wasn't so disciplined about staying and rooting and digging Cleveland up. And then he may not have won as many as he did. Who knows? But at the end of the day, that's the difference, where it just puts a small tarnish on his legacy.
Right. And to be honest, I do agree with you on the fact that he could have stayed in Cleveland and considered on trying to rebuild around himself, because he was a key main player on that team. Right. But like as far as like of him making his decision to join Dean Wade and his team, like he must have had a reason for that. But at the end of the day, Bron, you were born in an area where you were born and raised, and you got drafted by a team who was still in that area.
A city that loved you, Aramis. The city loved him. He had
they did. But the fact that you had to leave, bro, kind of broke some hearts. And the reason why they burned Joe Jersey away and got mad at you, because you went up and left, just because you had some few bumps and losses against these great teams and great all-time players like Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, right? Like all these greats. Okay, it happens, but you had a joke.
Amber, so what you just saying? All the greats, the super greats, like superstars, like they retired with the same organization. And then you have the tier 2 great ones like Ray Allen and different people, even Jordan, because Jordan at some point, he in the last few years he went to another team because the team decided to rebuild, and then that was the only time when they finally left their cities. And LeBron just showed to lose it way before. And I'm not mad at him, but at the end of the day, I think that it was more about he was being selfish to say, you know what, it's about me, instead of embracing and loving that the city that embraced him. Because remember us, they had the ones who believed in him, and he had the best storyline ever, because he could have said that, you know what, I was born and raised here, and I carried the city on my back to the day I retire. And he never will be able to say that. And and people from Cleveland hate it, because at the end of the day, there's a person who's from the Cleveland area who is the best player in the world, Why shouldn't that? And then just think about it. If you had, we're from here, right? What if we had the best player and we watched him all through high school, and then the city would say, you know what? We're gonna show this dude enough love and keep him here, and then you leave. That's heartbreaking.
Right. Just to watch somebody grow for years and years and years, then
Yeah,
he goes to the league
right.
where he was born and
Born at the hospital down the street.
right. Born and raised, you're playing for us, and then you decided to leave because you couldn't rebuild, and you decided to leave.
Was being soft. Well, I don't want to disrespect him, but at the end of the day, I don't want to say he's soft or a bitch and all that because that's just being too much. At the end of the day, he was selfish to say, you know what? It's more about me
Right.
and my legacy. LeBron James, instead of saying, you know what? It's about me and the city who showed me the love and took me out the gutter.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? They all show him love. When he went to the, I went to the high school in Cleveland. I forget the name of it. I went to the high school where he went to high school, which was a Catholic school, and
St. Mary.
yeah, he did the whole gym over. I saw all that. He had the automatic bleachers to come out and everything. Me and Ramiro, we went and played there. When you played the AAU tournament, they got a big AAU LeBron James Classic in Cleveland. It's a big AAU tournament. So we played at his actual school. So if you look at it from that point, here is a city who recognized and embraced and showed love to this kid and then end up paying him. We're gonna pay you, we're gonna roll the money out to you. So of course people feel slighted behind that. But the
Right.
good is at least, now you can say, hey, my husband or my girlfriend, well, she was this and that, she was an asshole, but at least she came back and tried to fix it. So that's where he got kind of like, it's okay. Well, thank you for coming back and giving us a ring, but they still forever going to be mad at him because all these other places he won at, why the fuck wouldn't you just have stayed here? Because they always going to feel like that you could have did that same shit here. You just wasn't being patient enough.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, just think about it. D Wade called LeBron to come there and he won a chip, right? D Wade called Shaq and said, come here to my city and play with me. I'm that dude. I'm a big time baller. And LeBron could have did the same thing. He just got too anxious because he was so much pressure on him to be the greatest player coming out of high school. Now you remember, just think about it. When he came out of high school, he foregoing college, and he only stayed in Cleveland. Look at them. Look at the fact check. I think he stayed in Cleveland about 6 years. So just think about it.
Mhm.
Had LeBron not have went to college, had LeBron had went to college. Let's say he went to college for even 3 years and then he got out and went to a team and stayed for 3 years. That's that 6 years amount of time that you still would have been that he still just should have stayed in Cleveland because he should have looked like his 4 years as if I'm in college. But they drafted and believed in me, so I'm a forego college and give y'all 4 years of which really should have been college time, and
Mhm.
then the 2 years after that should have been NBA time. And by the time he really got to that fifth or sixth year, he was like, I'm out.
Okay, I got a question. What's the reason? Because I've always tried to understand this because I know that when you like before you enter the league, you have to go do college first and do your amount of years first. Then you have to be enlisted in either a mock draft or enlisted to be in the draft pick to go into the NBA for whatever year it is. But LeBron, Kobe, D Wade, LeBron, Kobe, Melo, and a few of these players went to the league with no college.
Well, no, here's what happened, LeBron. I mean, here's what happened, Aramis. When back in the day, you had to stay in college to at least 3 years, and then you could
Okay,
go your senior year. That was the rule across the board. The
right.
only exception was when you look at the people who got drafted into the NBA before him, Moses Malone. You had you had Moses Malone. You had Kevin Garnett. You had Kobe, and there's some other ones we can go further back. and they were able to get into the NBA only because they were the only way you could get in the NBA if you didn't do 3 years of college was you had to show that it was such a hardship on your family and that you had no real money, and then they will allow you to go in that instance because of economics.
Mm.
You're the only person that ever had a chance. My family is real poverty, the whole thing, and if I go to the college, it's gonna be hard because I'm gonna need money to take care of my moms and my family. Because remember, in college, if you got paid anything, you would get banned. You understand what I'm saying? Then they came out with Proposition 48, I believe it was, where they said, okay, and I might be wrong on the proposition, but basically they went from 3 years to say, okay, well, we don't want to keep this because what happened is everybody started getting on the bandwagon. Oh, I don't have no money, my family don't have no money, I don't have money, and then the college came up, the NCAA came up. Well, you know what? At least come to the college for 1 year and then one and done. And then that took away from the hardship. And then now, when you said the NBA board and all that, the only way that LeBron and Kobe got in at that point was because as a freshman, now that it's one and done, it changed the dynamics of it. And they was like, okay, so the only way a player from high school can go in if he's a super phenom and on the draft board that he's basically better than the number one draft pick who was coming out one and done.
Right.
He can compete with them, and then that's how Kobe got in, and LeBron got in because Garnett got back in right at the edge when it switched over because it was an economic thing. So that's how that happened because the NCAA was trying to keep a way to make money and still have the best players come through the NCAA. You have the NCAA tournament, March Madness, and all that, and it's about money. And then now, when people start saying I'm good enough to go, because there's a lot of people who forego college and they go look at the people who blunders who tried to go like LeBron and Kobe from high school who got drafted, and you don't hear nothing about them because they never made it. That's how really hard it is. But look at it, it's about maybe 10 or 12 stories of people who was even better than LeBron and them and went in and they just didn't make it. They didn't have a
Right.
team around them. They didn't have whatever the case may be. But so then what the NCAA did then was they said, okay, well, we can't keep having all of these high school players make themselves eligible and skip the NCAA. And then now what they doing is the NCAA now is paying people off of the NIL money. Because other than that, why would I go to college then when I can go straight to the league and roll the dice? Because I'm about trying to get that money, and everybody's trying to get the bag.
Right.
So that makes sense as far as the history of how it changed. Because before you couldn't do that, just like football. Just case in point, what football player that went to college 1 year and went straight to the pros? They won't allow it. You know why? They won't allow it because they saying that you going against grown ass men and you're still a kid. You're 19 years old going against 27, 28 years grown men who in the gym and they looking out here to try to punish you. So if you think about it, the only time you see people go eligible early is in basketball or things like that. You never see that in football.
Right. Okay. So that just you basically just answered my question. Um, I'm trying to think. There's one more thing that I want to speak on before we talk about the Olympics.
Okay.
So this is regarding Kevin Durant and Angel Reese. So I've heard rumors that these two could be dating, and there's people saying that.
Pray not. I pray not.
But
I
look, but hold on, because because I gotta put something in the comments real quick. So hold on, give me a minute. But um, so here's my here's my issue. There are a few people that said that I mean,
when did this rumor start?
man, this
Back
started. Gosh, it. it it started like a few weeks ago, right before when Katie started actually playing in the in the Paris Olympics games. Like it's like it was all over like TikTok, like certain stuff. Oh, I don't know where he went. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Let me try to get him back in here. All right, so I'm gonna just bring it up. So I know you guys seen the Katie and Angel Reese situation. I don't know if that's even true or not, but I think it's a big issue because for one thing, the man is 34, Angel Reese is 22. But here's the thing: there were some people that I saw that made a comment of that the age gap isn't really too crazy. Okay, well, let's really think about it because for one thing, there is a NBA retired couple who has a huge age gap. Not a huge age gap, but just that has age gap, and that's D Wade and Gabrielle Union. Now, I did pull up the ages for those two, so let me go ahead and pull it up again. All right, so remind you that Kevin Durant is 35, right? Kevin Durant is 35. Angel Reese is 22. Gabrielle Union is 51 years old, right? Remind you, she's 51. I don't know if you guys know this, but Gabrielle Union is older than Dwayne Wade. She was always older than D Wade, always. And then if you go to Dwayne Wade, he's 42. He's 42 years old, and Gabrielle Union is 51. Angel Reese is still a rookie. Kevin Durant is in his what? He's in his 15 plus years. I think he's 35, and I mean like it's I'm gonna say it's happened before, but between Katie and Angel Reese, like this is a big gap right there because she's 22 and he's 35. But it's not really a big gap because she's 22 and he's 35. But to some people, they probably say that it is crazy, and I hope it never happens. Me too. I hope it doesn't because I don't know. But then after the two games that Katie has playing, that Katie has been playing in the Olympics, I'm hearing some rumors like like are these two dating? Like what's going on with these two? Now I hope this doesn't come true because this would be a big issue. And I know a lot of people are going to start tweeting and posting on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, like X. All that is going to be posted up. So hold on, let me try to get my uncle back in here. So hold on real quick, guys. We're gonna try to figure this out. Uh, is there a way? Is there a way where we can get him back in here or no? All right. Well, I'll just try to um I try to wrap this up because it's 3:41, so I want to try to get this all wrapped up. So most of you guys know that Team USA is 3-0 right now. They're 3-0, so they're entering the knockout round, which will be picked up next week. Picked up next week. I don't know what the schedule is looking like next week going into the knockout round. There's a few teams who have had a 3-0 lead. It's Germany. No, I'm sorry. It's Canada, Team USA, and I know some other teams are that made it. I don't know what teams that made it yet. I will I will look into it and I will post it on my Instagram. I will put it in the chat. So hold on, guys. I'll put my Instagram in the chat so you guys can look for it. Hold on, guys. I'm up. I'm put my Instagram link in the comments so you guys can go check it out. All right, so that's my Instagram account for the basketball truth and knowledge. Go follow it. I will be posting on as far as like if the rumors are true or not. If the rumors are true or not. So I haven't really got a chance to watch the Team USA versus South Sudan. I haven't got a chance to watch that because as it was a crazy weekday. Haven't got a chance to go watch it because I had to spend time with the family. Family's always important, man. Family's always gonna be important to me. If I gotta take some time away from this, I will to go spend time with the fam. I will do that. But we're back again. I know I missed a few days, trying to upload a video because my plan was to upload a video after each game that Team USA plays. But since I got a chance to watch all 3 games that they played because they just played Puerto Rico today, and they beat them 104-86. Ant Edwards, let me get the stats for you real quick for Ant Edwards. Hold on. I don't know if I can find the stats for it, but I'll post the stats on Instagram after I'm done with the show. So we beat Serbia, we beat South Sudan, and we beat Puerto Rico 104-86. Ant Edwards had 26 points. The most points overall in a quarter was 37. That was Carmelo Anthony. He did that in 14 minutes. No, I think it was like 14 seconds. He scored 37 points in 14. I think it was either 14 seconds or 14 minutes. He scored in one quarter. One quarter, he scored 37. And we was hoping that Ant would break that record to scoring the most in the game in a quarter. But they sat him out. But regarding Drew Holiday was hurt. He rolled his ankle against South Sudan, so he was not playing today. And they have not yet played Tyrese Halliburton except for today. They did play him today. He did get some playing time. It wasn't a lot, but I hope they do start him. Well, not start him, but I hope he does get some more playing time They did play Jason Tatum more. Last game against South Sudan, they did not play Joel Embiid because he had 0 points, 0 field goal percentage. He was benched, did not get a chance to play. They started AD in that game, and they won. I don't know what the score was for that. I haven't got a chance to watch the highlights and watch the score for that, but I will look into that. Right now, we're entering the knockout tournament, but I am surprised to see that Team USA, not Team USA, but the United States of America has had a few sports win gold, like track, uh, swimming, shooting, and a few other sports that the United States has. We've won gold so far, so we're looking good so far for the United States. And as far as Team USA, we're we're looking to see, you know, that Team USA keeps fighting and sticking to the plan to play tight defense and play good offense and just be focused. No mistakes is necessary. At this point, you're going to the knockout round. This is something serious. You gotta do your best chances to not get eliminated out of the knockout round, out of the Olympics, and not get gold. So your job is to make sure that you do it the best you can. No mistakes. You gotta start off strong and take it and finish it all the way for a win. Doesn't matter if it's a close game or not, but you want to avoid a close game because, you know, you might never know. A team may hit that clutch victory shot and you lose by 1 point. So you got to make sure that you don't do that regarding coming into this knockout round. Because knockout round, I'm a little terrified because I don't know what the rules is for the knockout round, but I will try to figure that out eventually. My co-host, I don't know what's going on. It's something going wrong with his internet, his Wi-Fi. So hopefully we'll have a full show with him on there, and we'll try to see if my other co-host can hop on with us. I did not let him know. That's my fault. I forgot to let him know that we were shooting a show today. I was supposed to remind him yesterday, which I didn't. That's on me. But I would love to have these two back on my show next week, Wednesday. So we could try to, you know, talk more about the Olympics. The Olympics is almost over, y'all. Because I think after this knockout round, whoever gets the gold, I think this, yeah, because after this knockout round, it's determined who gets gold or not. So hopefully we'll get to see that. But it is 3:49. It is 4:00. We're gonna turn the music on and then we're gonna end it here. So I think because we kind of cleared everything up, so let's turn this music on. So guys, if you hear the music, maybe not, maybe so. My speaker, my laptop is a little cracky, so you won't be able to hear it too well, but. Hope you guys enjoying the live. I have 2 watchers on. Thank you guys for coming on to the show, taking time away to watch the show. Thank you guys for the support. Please run up the numbers for subscribers. Please subscribe. Tell your family, your boss, your coworkers, aunties, uncles, whoever. Tell them to stop what they're doing. Check out the Basketball Truth and Knowledge. Subscribe, hit the like button, the post notification bell, so that you can get any live or recording videos or any uploads or any live videos coming up soon. And also, I did put my link in the comments, but I will put my Instagram link in the description so you guys can go follow that. And I will put my co-host Facebook link in the description so that you can go follow him and follow me on Instagram so that you can get any notifications and updates on when the next podcast video will be. And guys, before I end this, please, if you guys watch football and you love to hear all about it, and you love to talk more about football, please hit up my Pops' podcast. It's the Best Truth for Knowledge. No, not Best Truth for Knowledge. It's the Post Podium Podcast. Sorry, guys. I will put his YouTube channel in the description so you guys can go check it out. Why he's all about football. No, all truth, no sodium. Go check him out. He does his podcast Monday and Friday, 6:15 to 8:30. Monday and Friday. But with all being said, I am your host, Aramis, and this has been the Best Truth for Knowledge, baby. We out.